Greetings, loved ones. Of all the responsibilities that come with thankless parenting and adolescent, taking unpopular stands and making unpopular demands, supervision of teenage behavior is usually close to the top of the list. Sometimes we get so tired of keeping after our adolescent, we wonder if it's worth the aggravation. Today we're going to talk about abuse, accidents, and supervision, focusing on how you can supervise your adolescent. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. You could save a life. In addition to teaching skills and guarding against dangers, another purpose of supervision is a corrective one. This is to combine parental oversight to monitor what the teenager is doing with parental pursuit to influence what she or he needs to get done. You'll say something, you still haven't finished what I asked you, so I'm telling you again. Let's talk about the high cost of supervision. Supervision takes a lot of parental attention and a lot of parental effort, and it is generally disliked on both sides of the relationship. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to say it takes work. You must work to supervise your adolescents. It's not a passive thing. It's an active thing. On the receiving side, the young person can find it invasive and oppressive, and on the providing side, the adult can find it aggravating and exhausting. There can be this youthful complaint, stop checking on me, I hate it when you keep reminding me and reminding me, I said I'd do it an hour ago. And then there could be the adult response, I appreciate what you said, and I get tired of repeatedly asking. However, I won't stop checking until you take care of what I've requested. So why did the teenager finally comply? Teenager says, to stop their bugging me. I finally did what my parents wanted. Particularly to counter the seemingly endless adolescent capacity for delay, the byword for the parents is, if it's important enough to ask for or require, then it's important enough to follow through and see that it gets done or it is complied with. Supervision is a specific act, it's not passive, remember, that has a lot of symbolic value. It goes to show that parents mean what they say, will insist on what they want, and routinely follow through on rules they set and requests they make. Let's talk about the importance of this consistency with adolescents. What can undercut their influential power of supervision is when parents use it inconsistently. Keeping after a rule on one occasion, but letting it go on another when their attention is elsewhere or their energy is lacking. In this case, the teenager can be encouraged to conclude, well, sometimes they mean what they say I have to do, and sometimes they don't. So the next time the adolescent comes up against a selectively enforced requirement, she or he is likely to bet on they're not going to enforce it. They don't. Consistently applied. This is important. Consistently applied. Parental supervision can have shaping value, instilling important habits in both child and adolescent. For example, consider the weary parents who came in for a coaching class. We're going to set up an example here. They are in disrepair over having to deal with a very strong-willed 6-year-old. The mother declares she's totally defiant. She automatically refuses everything we ask. So we ask her, we say, that must be very frustrating. It sounds dangerous. You can't even drive with her safely in the car with her refusing to wear a seatbelt? And the parent says, what are you talking about? She knows to always buckle up in the car. Really? I thought she refused to comply with any of your rules. And the mother says, well, not that one. And so, we want to know, how did you get her to use the seat buckle? And the mother says, we didn't give her a choice. It's too important. We just kept after her until she finally decided it wasn't worth fighting us about it anymore. Exactly. That's your model for getting important compliance with your headstrong child. You must consistently supervise what you most want until they give in and decide to routinely do it. And now your child is free to fight you about something else. Since a willful child is likely to become a willful teenager, It's best for you to have a well-practiced history of consistent supervision in place so that when a strong-willed adolescence begins, you know what to do. Let's talk about this hard work of supervision. Supervision is the drudge work of parenting. It is even given a bad name, and most adolescents will tell you it is called nagging. However, it sometimes takes this ongoing investment of attention and energy to pursue the more resistant adolescents whose actions seem to say, you can tell me what, but I'll tell you when, and when I get enough when, I'll do what you want, maybe. Love adolescents. In this sense, delay is partly a gamble. Perhaps parents will forget what they asked for or simply get tired and give up. So the teenager needs to know from experience that parents will stay on their case about matters of importance, like when it comes to ensuring safety, meeting commitments, following rules, providing help, discharging responsibilities, and maintaining well-being. Sometimes it takes a full-court supervisory press to help the young person accomplish what needs to be done. For example, consider how parents might rely on supervision to overcome a performance problem that commonly arises in middle school. This is called the early adolescence achievement drop. This problem occurs when a dedicated child who studied hard in elementary school and conscientiously strove to achieve well becomes a more disaffected young adolescent who explains to parent how it should be enough to just get by because now social relationships matter more and grades start to fall. The telling question at this point often is, if your teenager completed and submitted all of his homework, would his grades be any better? If the answer is yes, then an achievement drop is occurring. The usual explanation is because homework fails to be consistently done by a young person who feels he has better things to do. Homework, it is denied, there's no homework tonight. Or, it isn't brought home, I forgot. Or, it isn't completed, well, I did most of it. Or, it isn't turned in, I lost it. Letting a temporarily academically disaffected early adolescent underperform in this way is not responsible parenting because self-image in the present and educational options in the future can be at stake. So, parents, you might want to try something like this. You can say to your child, we understand that at this time in your life, other parts of your life can seem to matter more than studying, like staying connected to friends. But our job is to help you maintain the level of performance you are capable of achieving when all homework is faithfully and fully done. And you continue saying, therefore, we will give you our supervisory support to get it well taken care of. So if you thought there wasn't enough homework, there wasn't any homework, and there was, one of us will meet with you and the teacher and together help clear up any future confusion about your assignments. And you can say, if you can't manage to bring it home, one of us will meet you after class at the end of the day and together help you pick up all your homework from your teachers. And then you say, if you can't manage to do it fully at home, one of us will sit together with you until it is adequately completed. And then you can say, to keep it from becoming lost at school, one of us will accompany you to school in the morning and together help turn in your assignments. And if for any reason this supervision of your school world provides more togetherness with mom and dad than you want, you have only to show us that you can take care of homework independently, and we will back off of this support. This is really, I'm enchanted with this. So let's talk about how to apply supervision. Come adolescence, parental supervision needs to be done steadfastly and matter-of-factly and without exasperation or taking offense. Couple it with impatience or frustration or anger, and now the parent just emotionally empowers the resistance that they are trying to discourage. Child might say, I can get them upset when I put off what they want. It's best to treat supervision as a necessary act of follow-through that backs up rules and requests with calm, resolute pursuit until consent and compliance are fully given. Child would say, they just keep after me until I do what they ask. My favorite approach to supervision was given to us by a mom whose unfailing cheerfulness came through when discharging this hard responsibility. Mom says, She calls it active waiting. This concept was new to us. Active waiting, what is that? And she says, yes. She says, I use it when I ask my son to do something, and he says he will in a minute, only to promptly go into his room and shut the door. So after a minute, I follow after and silently stand by the bed, smiling down as he lays there playing with his smartphone. Mom, why are you here? What are you doing? He says. I said, I'm just waiting for you to do what I asked. I said I will in a minute, he objects. And that's when we reply, I know, that's fine. I'll just stand in your company wherever you are until you do. And that's how active waiting works. It works like a charm. And by now, she says, when his frowning stops, he does as requested and usually sees the humor in what his waiting has caused me to do. Then the mother laughs. She says, when it comes to keep aftering him on something important, he knows I've got no quitting sense. Supervision is nagging, applying relentless parental insistence to wear passive adolescent resistance down. Tiring to give. If there are two parents in the home and they agree on what the teenager needs to do, supervision needs to be shared. Otherwise, inequity of effort can become a source of discord in the marriage. And there are times of persistent adolescent delay when supervision simply needs to be done. On these occasions, parental nagging is honorable work. According to the CDC, over half of all children in the world, that's 1 billion children ages 2 to 7, experience violence every single year. The question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you encounter them? You actually could be the person who saves a life. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. And if you're a victim of violence, I want you to listen to me. I want you to know that you are valued. You are loved. You are intelligent. And yes, you are worthy. God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. I want you to know that there is a way out of suffering. It is not your fault. Abuse is not love, and most of all, I want you to know you are not alone. If you're a victim of violence, reach out to someone today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. If you know of a child suffering violence, tell the authorities. In our next episode, we're going to talk about how you can detect child abuse and neglect. Until then, God bless you.